No, your eyes are not mistaken. The guy with the beautiful woman is a jerk and or an ugly guy. What is he doing with her? Can she not see? Has she not eyes? Alas, the poor male looks around, knows not who to turn to, and eventually sums up that the universe is a cruel and mysterious personage who deals out no answers, offers no solutions, and gives out no explanations, especially for the enigma of all enigmas, the beautiful woman. Obviously, something is amiss. How do these ugly to average looking guys get such babes? How do these cruel, stupid, barbaric males get these feminine jewels? Are they following a special trick? Are they super confident? What is their secret? Or are they even aware of their secret? But what if nothing is amiss? What if this is all correct to the will of nature? What where leaves the Don Juan?
We're going live.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
Good morning, everybody. We are live on a Monday. I like doing these lives on Mondays, man. Lives are just so much better than the pre-records. I tell you what. I just spent the weekend with my good friend RP Thor. That was awesome. I'm glad I was able to get to do that. It was the first time I met Thor in person. Hung out with him and his wife Missy. We did some recordings at Valhall Studios there for the Dragon Ship and for Rule Zero. So that was good. Thor taught me the secret to throwing axes and knives, which was good. Can't go visit Thor at his house and not throw axes and knives. I mean, am I right? You have to do that. It's an experience. So anyway, we are continuing the Book of Pook series today, guys. And this is episode 4 in the Book of Pook series. For those of you who are new to the series, I do invite you guys to read along, and you can do so for free at bookofpook.com. That is the whole entire book is available for free at that website. So I'll drop a link to that there. You can also get it on Amazon. They changed the format of it, right? So now it's in a 3-part series, and Book of Pook Volume 1 is the original Book of Pook. So if you're looking for the Book of Pook, that's the book now in paperback format, but you don't have to get that. If you guys want to listen to it on audio, it's not available on Audible. But my good friend Jack Napier has it available on Gumroad, and I link to that in the description. You can get that for free if you join Jack's membership on his YouTube channel. If you go to Jack Napier Knows and join his membership, you can listen to it for free. Otherwise, you can just buy it from him too on Gumroad and support my good friend Jack. He's not paying me for it. The Book of Pook people aren't paying me for this. It's just a really good wealth of information in this book, right? That just puts things in perspective for most guys, right? So we are going to be talking about chapter 21. You're like, Paul, how did we get to chapter 21 in 4 episodes? Well, and I think it's chapter 20 if you go to bookofpook.com. I think the website, I think is chapter 20, but the paperback is chapter 21. I've already explained that in previous episodes. But I did the 15 lessons, which is separate chapters. Each lesson is a separate chapter. I did that all in one episode. So that brought us up to where we're at today. And so like in previous episodes, I basically just read to you the chapters, right? Except for the 15 lessons, I broke those down into the individual lessons. So that's how this series goes. Some of the chapters I'm going to read to you and then just add my commentary to it. Some of them I'm going to break down into multiple chapters into one episode. And then like today, it's such a long chapter that it was just easier to break it down into the concepts. And luckily this chapter, he's got it broken down into basically sub chapters, right? So it was easy to sort of do this and just go point by point, and I'm not going to read to you today. Okay, cool. What's this say here? I think it was on YouTube book. It is. There's a YouTube version of the audiobook too. There's a guy named El Zorro, I think, that did a version of the Book of Pook that's really good. That's the one I listened to when I first listened to the Book of Pook, but Jack Napier is just a fucking better dude. Actually, I don't know El Zorro. Oh, did I just drop an F-bomb before the 8-minute mark? God bless. Guys, do send super chats, okay? I've already ruined this for everybody. But no, I like to support Jack because he's my friend. He's also a fellow Rule Zero panelist, but you know, whatever floats your boat, Guys, before we get too far into this, be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. And guys, do sound off in the chat today. That helps boost us in the algorithm, and it tells YouTube that people are enjoying this. So just interact with us, and then if you have any kind of commentary or complaints, or you want to make a joke about it, or maybe you have some insight on what I'm talking about, drop it in the comments. I'll share the good stuff on the screen. And for the love of God, send super chats, guys. That supports the show more than anything else. All right, so let's get into it. So the first concept in the book is extreme masculinity. Now, I'll tell you this. So when I go to do like concepts, right? Like with the main concepts of the chapter, what I often do is I try to cheat, and I take the chapter and I copy and paste it into ChatGPT and say, give me the top 10 concepts. ChatGPT could not for the life of itself give me the top 10 concepts without making them all woke, right? So I was like, damn it, I have to do it the hard way. So I had to go through each chapter or through this chapter and piece out each section and then talk about what Pook's actually talking about. So ChatGPT can kick rocks today. So the first one is extreme masculinity. So the chapter starts off with a gorgeous girl. She's standing there asking men how they should go about winning her, right? Hey, what are you guys going to do to win me? Kind of thing, right? So all the guys, there's all sorts of guys there. They all start shouting out answers. It's almost like a class, like a pickup conference type class, right? So there's all these guys there that have all these ideas on how to pick up women. So they start shouting out answers like, we'll do confidence, right? Confidence. We'll use humor. We'll use language patterns, which is Ross Jeffries NLP pickup. They would use language patterns to basically try to hypnotize chicks into liking them. We'll use Kino, right? Kino escalation, which if you guys didn't know, means kinesthetic. It means touch. Use touch to win her. Poetry. We're ignoring her. All that kind of stuff, right? So she basically says, hey, all that kind of stuff's great. All that kind of stuff's great, but every guy out there is doing that. So what is setting you apart? What's setting you apart from all these other guys that want me, right? And then some dude speaks up and says, you need to win me. I'm the prize. And she giggles at that and then asks why she ends up with the ugly guy who is a jerk. And then Pook swoops in. Pook swoops in with the answer of extreme masculinity. Basically, Pook doesn't answer any of her dumbass questions and it just takes what he wants, right? That's basically how that worked out. And he ended up walking away with the girl because he was just like, you're asking dumbass questions, woman, just come with me. Oh, what we got here? Even AI got infected with the woke shit. Our species is doomed. Oh, dude, you have no idea. Like, you go to post some of this stuff in ChatGPT and ask for it to give you different information. Because I was telling Thor this weekend. He was asking me about how I was doing social media and stuff, and I was telling him how I use AI a lot. I use a lot of AI. I use AI to cut these clips, and then I take the dialogue from each clip and I paste it into ChatGPT to generate hashtags, to generate descriptions. Any description you see of my social media posts from a video, that's all basically written by AI. And so I do that kind of stuff. Is sometimes my clips, it will give me a red flag saying this content goes against our terms of service and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, come on, man. Anyway, what else does Tree Sayer say? If I told you, then they would be doing what I would do. Are you saying you can't share your secrets of how to get the whamming? Barbarian says, let's see here. Daniel says Jack's narration is good. Yeah, Jack's a good narrator. And then Barbarian says Jack can use the money for Pokemon cards and Legos. Yes, Pokemon cards and Lego. We got to help Jack get the next big Lego set. All right, so the next concept, guys, in the book is the mystery of mysteries. The biggest mystery is why women go for jerks, right? So there's all these mysteries in the universe, but the biggest mystery in the universe is why do women go for jerks? I had a guy in beer club basically asked this question the other day. He's like, why do these women go for these fake alphas or these guys that, they really have nothing going for them and stuff, but then there's a real man out there they'll ignore? And I'm like, because women only care about how you make them feel. And these guys make them feel a certain way, right? So Pook asserts that girls are attracted to guys, not wimps. Not nice guys, not chumps, but guys, right? They want men, okay? Which is, it goes against everything women tell us, right? Because if you ask a woman what she wants, all the time, it's almost always they can't describe what they like in men without describing the beta comfort shit, right? So then nice guys hear that and try to lead with the beta comfort shit, right? But that's not what gets women in the first place. It's the alpha raw attractiveness that comes from a dominant masculine presence. Shout out to RP Thor. I just finished his book for the second time. But that's what they want. They want a man's man. They want a guy who embraces his masculinity, embraces his sexuality, and doesn't apologize for it, right? But they'll tell everybody else, oh, no, I want a guy that's sensitive and that's emotionally available. But that's not who they go for, because women don't know what they want. They don't even know what they want for dinner half the time. So instead of trying to discover some killer philosophy, just embrace what nature has designed, right? Nature's already designed us a certain way, right? Being a man and being a woman. It's very simple. It's very simple. It then goes on to say, nice guys don't embrace their masculine side. They end up being androgynous blobs. You see it every day, right? That's why I love Dr. Robert Glover's stuff. I love No More Mr. Nice Guy. I love Dating Essentials for Men. Dating Essentials for Men is one of the best dating books you'll ever read. But his latest book, which he didn't even write, some other guy wrote it, and then it basically used Dr. Robert Glover's information, and Dr. Robert Glover let him use his name, so it's almost like a license. I couldn't finish the book. It's called The Big Stick. I tried to read it. It's all embracing your feminine side. It's all being emotionally available. It's all being vulnerable and all that kind of bullshit that we all know in the red pill space doesn't work. And I'm like, how can Dr. Robert Glover allow this? It's at some point, all these guys who are paramount in the space end up going, to the pop psychology side of the space so that they can reach a wider audience. But it's that none of that stuff works. I couldn't stomach it, right? Daniel Bell says The Big Stick. That sounds gay. And for the algorithm, that's Ghay. He didn't spell it that way, but that's how I'm saying it, so I don't get canceled. Anyway, so he says that nice guys don't embrace their masculine side. They end up being androgynous blobs. You see it every day. So instead of being an androgynous blob, trying to be equal with women and not offend women, embrace your masculinity. Embrace the fact that you are a man, she is a woman, and men and women want to fuck, basically, right? That's a big thing. Guys, there's a lot of guys out there that are always like, no, I don't want to just fuck, okay? Like, I want her for her mind and her intelligence and stuff. It's like, no, that stuff's secondary. Like, yeah, you probably do want that kind of stuff. But the reason why you go up and talk to a hot chick across the supermarket that you see, it's not because she has an amazing personality. It's because she has awesome boobs. You're attracted to her and you want to see what she looks like naked. Embrace that. Just own that shit. Okay. She knows. She fucking knows. All right, guys. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list.comeonmanpod.com. I'll send you some free stickers. I got this one here. Girl, you know I'm a bad boy. If you don't want the stickers, just put don't want it stickers in the address field. I won't waste a stamp on you. But you also get 20 dating app openers that are guaranteed to capture a woman's attention in the first 7 words. And you also get a free chapter of my book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18, which I go through. The longest chapter in the book is on dating and spinning plates. And it's broken into subchapters, but it runs the gamut from how to meet women, how to use attraction, how to embrace your masculinity, all that kind of stuff, all the way until getting into a relationship, if that's what you want to do. Otherwise, you can just skip the relationship stuff and just keep spinning plates forever. Whatever. Like, I'm not judging. But then the next chapter after that is long-term relationships, right? And then how to maintain attraction in the long term. So if that's been something that's challenging for you, get my book, right? I also talk about not just dating and relationships and this stuff too. I talk about getting your finances in order. I talk about picking careers. If you're a young buck coming out of high school, which I recommend a young buck coming out of high school, get this book, or you get this book, like the graduation's coming up. Get this book for your teenager that's graduating high school. Okay. Because it talks about education, what that even means. Going to college by itself does not necessarily mean getting an education. Right. And a lot of times you don't even need to go to college for the career field that you want to get into. I just saw a sign at the airport the other day, or yesterday, actually. Sign at the airport for a college that's offering master's degrees in hospitality management. And I'm like, why would you go waste your money on a master's degree for hospitality management? Like, there's no way you're ever going to make that money back. It's just it's a lot of those kind of degrees are worthless degrees, right? Cappy's got a whole book on that. But anyway, I got a whole chapter on careers, how to get your finances in order, how to be financially free, So definitely check out the book. It's a handbook for life. And then, guys, my dating course is 50% off for the entire month of May. Let me play a commercial for that, and then we'll get back to the book. 70% of relationships start online nowadays, but you're tired of being stuck in the dating app dead end. Swipe after swipe, and all you get is ghosted, or worse, bot matches. The problem isn't you. It's that most dating apps are designed to favor the top 20% of guys. And if your profile isn't up to par, you're just another swipe left. The solution? No cold approach in the cow pasture. While the course may have a funny name, it will show you how to optimize your dating profile. It will show you how to take perfect photos and write bios that get you noticed. You'll also learn how to spot and avoid bots, catfish, and time wasters. I originally designed this course for
guys who live in rural flyover country, where the opportunity to meet women organically in person just isn't possible, or your options are severely limited.
But this course will work for guys in big cities too. In fact, it'll work better for guys that live in big cities because you have way more options than guys that live out in rural areas. Wherever you are, No Cold Approach in the Cow Pasture will help you meet high-quality women in your area. It will help you to close for more dates than you ever thought possible. Because not only do I teach you how to optimize your online dating profile on dating apps, the real secret sauce is I show you how to meet women on Facebook and Instagram, and how to slide into their DMs using a virtual cold approach method using video messages. Ready to be a part of the top 20%? Don't miss your chance. Visit dates.comeonmanpod.com. That's dates.comeonmanpod.com to sign up now. And for the entire month of May, take 50% off with code MAY50 at checkout. Barbarian says Glover made the podcast rounds recently, plumping his new book. This is the first review I've heard. Yeah, I was really disappointed with it. It's like they basically, the guy who wrote it, whatever the guy's name is, I can't think of it. Like Glover didn't even write it. He wrote the foreword, and the guy wrote the whole book and basically is branding it with Glover so that he can sell the books, right? And I think Glover's probably getting kickbacks, he's probably getting 50-50 on the sales maybe. But man, it's like the guy tried to rewrite No More Mr. Nice Guy. It's got a lot of the same breaking free exercises and stuff. It's like, why don't we just read No More Mr. Nice Guy? Like that was a that was a good book. Like, why did we need another book? It's for this. Nurse Chick. Good morning, gentlemen. Sorry I'm late. Well, that's a paddling. All right. All right. So the next concept is the masculine male. So Pook injects a nice guy with testosterone and asks the others to observe the effects. So that's one thing I think is funny about Pook. Like, to me, I always imagine Pook as this almost like genie-like character. He's always doing weird shit like this, right? So he just takes a nice guy and then injects him with testosterone. And as you guys probably know, if you just take one injection of testosterone, you're not just magically buff and shit. Like, it takes a while, but use your imagination here, okay? So he injects a nice guy with testosterone and asks others to observe the effects. The nice guy all of a sudden no longer fears what he desires and just goes up and approaches the woman he wants. Okay? Because now he's full of testosterone and he's just like, I want to fuck. Like, how do I do that? Like, I got to go up and talk to this chick, right? He loses all the fear, or maybe he's afraid, but he pushes through it. They don't get into that. But he no longer fears what he desires and just goes up and approaches the woman he wants, right? And so Pook says, masculine men, they go for what they want, right? They don't fear rejection or failure. They don't apologize for it. They don't rationalize it. They don't try to analyze it. That's a big problem guys have. A lot of guys that I work with overanalyze stuff and they end up talking themselves out of things. It's like, stop thinking about it. Just go fucking do something, right? Take some action. The difference between the jerk and the nice guy is they go for what they want and don't apologize for it. So the jerk just goes for what he wants, right? The jerk, I should say, right? The perceived jerk. He just goes for what he wants. Okay. He's bold as hell. And chicks like confidence and boldness. And if you just go up unapologetically to a chick, that shows confidence and boldness. And that's what's attractive to chicks, right? They're only concerned with getting their needs met, right? Which is what we teach in the red pill space, being your own mental point of origin, getting your needs met. The nice guys think that the man is a jerk because he sleeps with women and leaves them, right? But Pook asserts that women look at it differently, right? A lot of the trad cons talk about how us, the red pill guys, and we're advocating for just, pumping and dumping these chicks and leaving them. And that's actually making the problem worse because, we're increasing some chicks' body count and somehow we're to blame for that. It's like, well, she wanted to be there too. For one, but two, Pook asserts that women look at it differently, right? Women, they look at it like they were not woman enough to lock that guy down, right? He says, not that he was a jerk or abusive. There's a reason why chicks always pine for these guys who are assholes to them and stuff like that. And the nice guys don't understand. They're like, all I did was try to make her like me and try to make her happy and stuff like that. But all she could do is think about this guy that treats her like crap. It's like, that's because he's an alpha, right? Alpha fucks, beta bucks. And so she can't stop thinking about that guy. And she's like, man, was I not good enough to lock that guy down? Because women want to consolidate on the alpha guy. They end up settling with a lot of beta guys, right? They do want that beta comfort. They want both, but they want a guy that's more in his alpha side than he is on his beta side. You know what I mean? but they want to consolidate on that guy that has that raw attraction that makes them feel safe and secure at the same time, you know? So they look at it differently. They're not looking at it like he's a jerk because he leaves them. They look at it like, I wasn't able to lock that guy down. I'm not good enough. Like, women are insecure as hell. You can use that to your advantage. Okay, so then the next one is nature's path leads to women. So this section, this is about guys who overanalyze things. Okay. I know a few of you guys out there. Wednesday's episode is going to be about this. It's going to be overanalyzing stuff. And I got some critiques for guys in the space. I'm not going to name any names, but there's some guys that really teach overanalyzing. They teach like, oh, this is, if you use this process and you go step by step, this paint by number stuff, it gives guys too much stuff to think about, especially guys who tend to overanalyze things. And it's like, man, that's shooting you in the foot. You're overthinking this. You're really overthinking this. And that's what I love about the Book of Pook series, because Pook's telling you, don't overthink this shit, man. Just act like a fucking man. Just act like a man. You don't have, it's not that difficult, right? So nature's path to women. So the section is for guys who overanalyze, right? Pook breaks it down into the differences of mind and nature. Mind is always trying to figure out the right seduction move, the clever thing to say, or looking for IOIs or whatever. You know, oh man, I just saw a really great clip from Mr. Lucario. Do you guys know Mr. Lucario? He's been on the podcast before. He's in the Black Manosphere or whatever, but he's got some really solid stuff. He's got really solid stuff. And the other day he was making a video making fun of guys who only look for IOIs. And he goes, okay, here I am at the mall, or I can't remember where he was. Maybe it was at airport. And he goes, I can only approach chicks who are showing me indicators of interest or choosing signals. And he's sitting there looking around. He's like, oh, there's a really hot chick. Well, she's not showing me any choosing signals. I guess I can't go talk to her. And he just does this for like 5 minutes straight. Just it's like all these hot chicks are available to walk up and talk to, but you're waiting for something to happen. It's like that doesn't always happen. You know what I mean? It's like how Mike Sartain says something like 87% of guys are invisible to women. That's true. Women are just going about their day. They're not always noticing every guy, right? And so he's like, oh, but if a guy has a Ferrari, then she would notice him. Yeah, maybe. But another way is to just walk up and talk to chicks, because that's a good way of inserting yourself into their consciousness. Okay. It's not that fucking difficult. Anyway, I digress. So he says that these guys are always looking for clever things to say, making the right move, looking for IOIs. And he says, but nature basically says she's female, I'm male, let's fuck. Right? It's not that hard. So Pook says, listen to your natural instincts more, especially after you study all the material. And I added that part, right? After you've studied this stuff, listen to your natural instincts more, because until you've studied some of this stuff, your natural instincts will tell you to do some blue pill shit that doesn't work. Right? But once you've studied this stuff, like you've listened to these books, numerous times, you've tuned into all the podcasts and stuff like that. Like, you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. Trust your gut, right? Don't try to overanalyze it. Just fucking go. Use a 3-second rule. If you see a chick you want to talk to, just don't wait more than 3 seconds, or you're going to talk yourself out of it. Just fucking go up and blurt something out. Anything, right? So I have here, at some point you need to go out and test these theories and act on them, right? Guys, join the beer club, beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's a good group of guys, good place to swap notes about this kind of stuff. Our next hangout is this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's only $10 a month. Okay. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that. We'll continue here. The science of testosterone is the next section here. This is a really long chapter. That's why I'm trying to keep the housekeeping short. So the science of testosterone. He goes into the science and effects of testosterone, but the most important thing is the rat study. Okay. So he talks about this rat study in this section. he says that female rats, there's a study, he talks about it, that he says female rats were injected with testosterone, right? And what happened to these rats that were injected with a ton of testosterone is that their clits basically got larger and turned into little dicks, right? Such a funny thing to talk about. And then these female rats that all of a sudden had all this testosterone, they immediately wanted to fuck all the female rats, right? They were going up and they were trying to fuck all the other rats, right? So long story short, the more you boost your testosterone, the more you'll want to fuck, and the more the stuff will just come naturally to you, right? That's what Pook asserts. Which kind of, I mean, it does kind of make sense, right? We have a big problem, and we talked about this last week. I did a whole episode on supplements and stuff like that. We talked about testosterone a lot in that episode. And man, we got a problem in this country where we have a rapid decline of men's testosterone levels. You see it everywhere. You see it everywhere. Like once you realize that it's a thing, you start seeing feminized men everywhere. And just you could hear it in people's voices. You could see it in their body language that these guys have low testosterone, you know? And so what you'll find is that if you boost your testosterone levels naturally, like you actually sort of have a little more pep in your step. You know what I mean? There's something to what Pook's trying to say here. Pook asserts that the jerk is controlled by his testosterone, and the nice guy recoils from the abuses he sees the jerk makes and sort of suppresses his testosterone, which is what society tells us to do, right? They say testosterone bad, masculinity is toxic, right? It's this bad thing. There was James Cameron? James Cameron came out a couple of years ago saying he wishes that he got rid of all the testosterone in his body because it's toxic hormone. Fucking bullshit. It's fucking bull. Men need testosterone for our overall health, not just banging chicks. You need it for your overall health and well-being. And low testosterone causes lots of other health issues, right? So it's not toxic at all. It's not fucking toxic at all. And the thing is that, you know, all these feminists will say the same kind of thing, but they go for guys with high testosterone, right? Don't listen to what women say. Watch what they do. So Pook recommends being jerk-like, right? Not necessarily being a jerk, but being jerk-like by being in control of your sexuality and not trying to suppress it. Own that shit, right? You realize you are walking across the bar to talk to a hot chick, not because of her personality, but because you want to fuck her, okay? Own that shit, and you're going to be more of an attractive guy. Oh, Daniel Bell, I thought he already did. Are you talking about James Cameron? He already got rid of all the testosterone in his body. Yeah, probably did. I can't watch his shit anymore, man. Like, the first Terminator was awesome. That was like a man's man kind of action movie. Like, all of his other new shit, I can't even watch it. Fuck that guy. Pook says, there's no nice guys in the animal world. Right? Testosterone in animals causes aggression. Yeah. He says, if you neuter an animal, they become a great pet. Right? And what do nice guys become to women? A great pet. They end up in the friend zone, don't they? Yeah. Reminds me of my cat, O'Malley. Right? I've got this orange tabby cat named O'Malley. Man, when we first got that little shit, he was very aggressive, right? Very aggressive. He was fully intact because he was, you know, we got him as a kitten. Very aggressive cat. And I had to go get him neutered because we can't have him, you know, banging all the bitches in the neighborhood and making all sorts of little O'Malleys, right? That's not a good thing for cats. So I went and took him to get him fixed. And man, he is such a great little cuddle bug now. He's a great pet. He's a great pet, right? But being a great pet it's not a good thing when you're trying to seduce women, right? You don't want to end up in the friend zone. And that's basically where women put you when you're a nice guy. They put you in the friend zone, right? No, no nice guys at the cow pasture. That's right. Otherwise, you end up just hanging out with the cows in the cows' friend zone. All right. The women agree, Pook says. Pook shows responses from 10 different women and 4 men. So, man, this chapter is so ridiculously long. Like, Pook can be very long-winded sometimes. And so he goes through and gives examples from all these different women and then 4 different guys. Really long section. But the too long didn't read part of that is that women like guys who embrace their sexuality, acts like a man, and basically stops what she asks, right? And a lot of times that's a shit test, right? We call that last minute resistance. So a guy that's making moves on her and she's like, oh, I'm not that kind of girl right now. And the guy's like, hey, no problem, whatever. And then maybe some other time. And then goes back to having a conversation that tries again later. She's like, okay, well, he'll stop what I asked. Let's go have sex. It's a lot of times it's a shit test. And she just wants to know that you'll stop when she asks, and when she feels safe and secure with that, she's like, okay, let's do that. Right? Let's go. Let's do the sex. And so I have here, yeah, most of the time stopping what she asks is a shit test, right? And but nice guys don't do that, right? If they even try to make a move and she's like, I'm not that kind of girl, or they go on a date and the girl opens with, we're not going to have sex tonight. They're like, oh no, I wouldn't even dream of trying to have sex with you. Right? Whereas like a jerk would be like, he's like, what a silly thing to say, right? As Ryan Stone says. Or, I might say, well, you're the one that brought it up, with a wink, and then just not, just put it back on her plate. It's not a no. It's not a no, man. And then what will happen? If she's talking about it, she's thinking about it. You know what I mean? So you're probably going to get laid if you just treat it like it is a shit test, right? To increase testosterone, Pook doesn't recommend running out and getting on TRT, right? And I typically don't either. Unless you're maybe an older guy, but if you're in your 20s, unless you're trying to become some bodybuilder or whatever, you probably don't need to get on TRT or any of that kind of stuff, right? You can boost it naturally, right? You can boost it naturally. We talked about last week on the supplements episode. There's lots of ways to boost testosterone. Number one way is to lose weight and not be a fat fuck, according to Pook, right? Lose weight, hit the gym. You're going to, especially if you're a young buck, you're going to boost your testosterone naturally by going to the gym more, right? And then definitely check out last week's episodes on supplements. There was I talk about it in that episode, but there was this bodybuilder, and I showed a video clip of it. This guy, he was a bodybuilder in his 20s, so he was taking gear, right? He was taking like all the fun stuff. And he says, no one talks about this, but when you get off of gear and you try to go back to natural, like your testosterone levels drop because your body stops producing testosterone. And he says by the time he hit 30, he had testosterone of like 128 or something like that, right? Which is really low. It's like the of an 80-year-old man. And he said he felt like garbage. So he's been trying to boost his testosterone naturally. What he found was by taking a fuck ton of vitamin D every day. And that guy was he wrote a book about it. And he said he was taking 24,000 IU of vitamin D3 every day, which is way more than like when you buy the pills. Typically they're like 5,000 IU. So he was taking way more than that. And he boosted his vitamin D levels, but it also helped boost his testosterone. And he ended up getting into the optimal range by just taking vitamin D. So vitamin D3. So we have some guys at Beer Club that they're doing this experiment right now. They're going to go get their blood tested. They're going to see where they're at. They're going to take some vitamin D for 90 days. They're going to go get their blood tested again. And they're going to do some bro science on this, right? So there's ways of doing it. But Pook says the number one way of to boost testosterone is to lose weight and not be a fat fuck, right? The next section is no more analyzing. No more analyzing. Basically, at some point, you got to stop watching these podcasts. You got to stop reading the books, right? It doesn't hurt to brush up on these books to keep it fresh in your mind and tune into these podcasts. But eventually, you got to fucking go out and talk to girls. You eventually have to do that. But I know so many guys who, they'll read Corey Wayne's book, 10 to 15 times, like he says, but they won't go out and talk to girls until they've read the book 10 to 15 times. It's like by the time you get to that 15th read, you still have no fucking practice, bro. So then when you go out, you're going to stumble on your words. You're not going to know what to fucking say. You're going to overanalyze stuff. You're not going to have success. Okay. As you're reading this material, as you're listening to the podcast, as you're doing whatever the fuck you're doing, going in these forums and swapping notes, go out and test this shit. Okay. And then come back and reevaluate, right? What worked for you? What didn't work for you? That kind of stuff. Treat it like a science experiment. But you got to do this as you go along. You eventually actually have to go out and talk to chicks, right? So Jack Napier just did Rule 0 on Saturday on touching grass, all right? You got to go out and fucking touch grass. Go talk to girls. You've read enough books, okay? Forum posts, listen to podcasts, right? It's time to practice what you've learned. Then Pook also says, build up your body, right? Build up your body. Hey, Offie Kingdom's in the house. What's up? What's up, Offie? Shout out to Offie Kingdom, the world's manospheres book champion. He's got more books than anybody in the space. Build up your body. So the next section is on building up your body. So Pook is encouraging you to go to the fucking gym. Okay. Which is weird. If you go to any of these podcasts, read any of these books, almost all of them recommend not being a fat fuck and going to the gym. There's a reason for this. Okay. It's not just physical, it's mental, right? It's not just physical, it's mental. You'll have more confidence when you've built a body that you're proud of. Okay. And you'll realize how many lazy fucks are out there and have a real sense of accomplishment when you did it and those other lazy fucks didn't, right? You'll see, you'll be like, I'm better than you. Joining a sport. He recommends joining a sport. Oh, Daniel says one more book, just one more book and I'll be ready. Yes. One of Offie's books. Get one of those. Kamal says, Paul is the nicest bad guy I know. Yes. Fuck you, Kamal. But thank you. I appreciate you for that. Okay. Joining a sport. So Pook recommends a sport because he thinks men need competition and that physical competition boosts testosterone. I got into running and I like to do races and endurance stuff, right? Those are more about competing with myself though. And, but they give me goals to work towards, like this year I'm signed up to do a 10K in August. So that's what I had a 10K I signed up to do earlier this year. And I was really looking forward to it, but I accidentally double booked a trip with my son to Florida. So I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to the race. I'm going to Florida. So then I had to sign up for another race. So that's in August, but I try to do at least one thing like that a year. That gives me something to work towards. Eating more. Pook recommends eating more, but that's for skinny guys. He says, if you're a skinny guy, you got to eat more. You got to put some meat on those bones. Okay. The next one is don't take yourself seriously. So this is for the shy and hesitant guys, right? You'll need to get over the fact that the world does not revolve around you, and it never has, and it never will, right? A lot of guys like overanalyze, like, oh, if I wear this shirt, people aren't going to like me. If I wear these shoes, like, what are they going to think? It's like, who gives a fuck what people think? Because most of the people aren't even thinking about you. No one gives a fuck. Most people don't give a shit, right? Most people don't care about you and what you're going through. No one will care if you go hit on a chick and get shot down. No one will care, right? No one will care. No one will care if you make a move on her. So do not rationalize away your desires, is what Pook says. Okay. Do not rationalize away your desires. There are two guys out there that I'm thinking about with this section, and I'm working with both of them, and I hope you guys are watching. Okay. And if you think that I'm talking about you, I probably am. Okay. Probably. This is for guys that overthink things. Stop overthinking things and just fucking do it. You know what you need to do. We've been working long enough. You don't even have to overthink it, man. Just fucking go do it. Right? You have the tools. Pook recommends to start doing some things that awful jerks do. Okay. So he says, try getting on a stage and being some rock stars, right? This is Pook's idea. Try getting on a stage and being a rock star. You can do that at karaoke night, right? You don't actually have to play an instrument. You can just get out of your comfort zone and go do karaoke. I love karaoke, but I have to have a few drinks first. I have a couple of shots of liquid courage, and then I'm all about karaoke, man. All about karaoke. In the Navy, in A school, we used to underage drink at the base bar, and every Wednesday night was karaoke night. We'd all go in there, and I love that shit. That was so much fun. And the cool thing about karaoke is, if you have a hard time, putting getting in front of women and stuff like that. One thing about doing karaoke, especially if you're pretty good at it, is you're on stage, you're center of attention. And if you're actually good at singing, it gives you some status, right? And all the chicks are looking at you. And if you're really good at it, like, you'll have chicks coming up to you. They'll be like, oh, that was really good. I really liked it. Right? There's your in, bro. There's your in right there. Okay. Karaoke is awesome. Try acting, right? Pook's idea. This is Pook's idea. Try acting, right? Join a local improv group, which actually Thor recommends in his book. He recommends joining an improv group because that'll help you be quicker on your feet and stuff like that. Being able to be more social, because a lot of guys are like, I don't know what to say and stuff like that. Well, if you join an improv group, they'll teach you how to think on the fly and say things on the fly. All right. That's a good way of doing it. But Pook says, try acting. Right? Learn how to try acting. I was in drama in high school. I was a drama nerd. I was in all the plays and stuff like that. It's fun. It'll help you break out of your shell. When you're in front of an audience of people, it's daunting at first. You get that stage fright. You hear people with the stage fright and they have this anxiety of being in front of people. But once you do it enough, it's second nature. It's not even a big deal. Like me, right? I'm in front of, hundreds of people every episode. Not even a problem. But if you go back and watch episodes from a couple of years ago, you'll see that I'm a little bit nervous with it. I'm a little bit nervous, but now it's like it's old hat. I've done it so much. And I have here, try karaoke, for fuck's sakes. We already talked about that. But basically, you want to try something that gets you out of your comfort zone, right? Something that helps you break out of your shell a little bit. Taking dance lessons, right? I know guys that go and do salsa dancing and stuff like that. That's one way to break out of your shell. And you find out that chicks actually like to dance. It's good skill to learn. And then finally, we have a new start. So the last section here is a new start. The nice guy is a male who is afraid. Nice guy is a male who is afraid and doesn't embrace his testosterone. The jerk should be seen as the testosteronized male, is what Pook says. So the jerk should be seen as the testosteronized male. What we understand, we have the power to use, and what we don't understand, it has the power to use us. For we possess the ability to restart our lives over again. Be not scared by acting nice or relying on mental tricks to do what your testosterone was put there to make you do. Right? So basically, we have it in ourselves to go get laid, right? It's in our nature. It's in our evolutionary nature to do it. So you got to embrace that shit, right? Being a nice guy goes against that nature. That's the chapter, guys. That's the chapter on the secret of the jerk. I hope you guys like that one. Be sure to tune into the podcast Wednesday, because I'm going to be talking about how talking to women is not, it's not paint by numbers, right? We're sort of going to go more into depth on this, but largely what I'm going to be doing is talking about, I'm going to be talking about geeks with techniques, right? A lot of guys study this stuff. They want to know, I need the perfect pickup line. I need the perfect, the perfect flow chart and stuff like that. And the reason why I thought of this is I just had a consulting call last week with one of my guys, and he went out with a friend of his, and they didn't really get anywhere because what the one guy was overanalyzing stuff, and the other guy was like, I need a formula. I need some kind of, step-by-step process to talk to women. And I was like, I'm going to do an episode on this, because that is fucking bullshit. And I've seen other guys' courses in the space, and not to say that the information is bad, it's useful, but a lot of guys have the tendency to overanalyze it and try to make every interaction with chicks perfect. And it's like, it doesn't work that way. There's a lot of variables. Those variables are women and their emotions, right? So you have to be able to throw some of this shit out and have to be able to just do something, right? You don't overthink it. Just talk to them, man. It's not even that hard. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. Actually, Offie is in the chat there. I don't know if he's still there, but Offie did a funny video on choosing signals too, talking about how he's looking for choosing signals, and it's all bullshit. It's like, eventually you just gotta go up and fucking talk to a chick, man. I was on the plane. I was on the plane on the way to go see Thor on Friday, and nurse chick sitting next to me, and she points out this chick sitting on across the aisle from me. I was in the aisle seat, and this chick had a ball cap that said, "My best friends show me their boobs," right? And she's like, "Look at that hat." And I go, so I just turned to the chick and I was like, "Hey, I like your hat." And she's like, "Oh yeah, this hat's so funny. I posted on Instagram," and she goes, "My inbox was full of boob pics, because all my friends sent me pictures of their boobs." And it's just like, all I said was, "Hey, I like your hat." Right. And women just love to fucking talk. So just let them. It's not even that hard. Not even that hard. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. We'll go ahead and wrap up here. Oh shit, we do have at least one super chat. We only have one super chat. I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Okay. If you guys found value in this, do send super chats. All right. Brother Nathan, $2 super chat. He says, single dad, same amount of work, no recognition. Okay. Poor single dads. I'm gonna give him this one here.
I was just gonna say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
He definitely fucks. He definitely fucks for sending a $2 super chat. All right. That's all we got, guys. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thanks for everyone that sounded off in the comment section. That helps boost us in the algorithm. It's also just fun to talk to you guys. And thanks to Brother Nathan for the super chat. Appreciate it. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list, guys. list.comeonmanpod.com. I'll send you a bunch of free stickers. I got this new one, right? Girl, you know I'm a bad boy. If you don't want stickers, that's cool too. Just write, don't want stickers in the address field. I won't waste a stamp on you. But you get 20 dating app openers that are guaranteed to capture a woman's attention in the first 7 words, which is important because women are filtering out their options by looking at what guys open with in the preview pane. They're not even opening up the message half the time. So if you don't capture her attention, she's not going to talk to you. Okay. So you got to capture her attention, the first 7 words, which is basically the amount of words that shows up in the preview pane. And then she sees something that's catchy. She's going to say, oh, what's this guy about? And then she's going to look at your pictures. So if your picture sucks, she's not going to talk to you. Then she's going to look at your bio. If your bio sucks, if it's negative, she's not going to talk to you. But if your pictures are awesome, if your bio is catchy, then she's going to go, okay, what's this guy about? And then she's going to fucking talk to you. Okay. That's how dating apps work. Most guys think they struggle with dating apps, but it's not the dating app that sucks. It's that you suck at dating apps. Okay. So if that's your problem, check out my dating course. Okay. I'll help you with all that kind of stuff. It's 50% off for the entire month of May. If you go to dates.comeonmanpod.com and use code May50 at checkout, I'll teach you how to do that. Yes, it's got a funny name. Yes, You probably don't live in the cow pasture, but it'll work even better for you if you work in the city because you have way more options than we do out in the cow pasture. Okay. Oh, I posted a video because Nurse Chick and I went to a club on Saturday night because Thor goes to bed because he's an old ass man. He goes to bed early as fuck. And so he went to bed at like 8 p.m. So Nurse Chick and I left and we went to a club. And we went there and it's loud ass music. There's a DJ playing and there's lots of fucking music, like lights and shit. There's none of that. There's no fucking clubs like that out here in the cow pasture. So I posted a video of me just scrolling around the room of all the people and the loud ass music. And I go, we don't have places like this in the cow pasture. But you guys in the city do. And so you have no fucking excuses. Okay. And then guys, check out my book. If you guys have an Audible subscription and you haven't used your credit for the month, get my book on Audible. RP Thor did the narration for that. It's a handbook for life. I think you guys will really enjoy it. All right. That's all I have, guys. Do we have any more super chats? No more super chats. So we will end it here. We will see you guys on Wednesday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. New full episodes served hot every Monday morning on your favorite podcast platform of choice. So subscribe now. Follow Paul on social media. The links are in the description. Now, go out and get it.